keeping an eye on the chat, and we will get started. So Doug, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine. You got me okay?
Yep.
And Patrick, if you could, just kind of still manage
Oh,
looking up
okay.
here.
All right.
All right, Doug, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay. All right, well, Patrick, thanks for joining us for a few minutes prior to the start of the 2021 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You are coming in, making your fifth start here and coming off a tie for 11th last year. Just some thoughts on being back here, obviously, to a pretty special place.
Yeah, I always like being up here at Monterey. Even though it's cold this time of year, I like playing Pebble Beach. I like Spyglass. And so I'm excited for this year. Looks like we're going to get some rain, which isn't uncommon. But I always like being here, and I like the golf courses, and I like California golf.
Okay, and coming into the week, you're still playing quite well. 3 top 10s and 7 starts, obviously highlighted by the win at the Zozo Championship, and most recently you finished the American Express with that incredible final round of 61. Just kind of assess the state of your game as you're heading into the week.
Yeah, my game's been good. Obviously how I played my last round on tour was unbelievable. Even, I was a little surprised that I was able to shoot 11 under on that golf course. But I think it bodes well for the future. And my game's in a really good spot. My processes are all really good. And if I can make a bunch of putts like I did on that Sunday, look out.
Okay, all right, well with that, we'll open it up with a few questions. We'll start with Steve DeMeglia with USA Today. Steve, go ahead.
Patrick, anything special the last 2 weeks?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
Did you do anything special the last 2 weeks?
Oh, no, just kind of relaxed a little bit and then prepped for this week. It was pretty mellow. I've been staying down in Newport Beach, and it's been nice.
And do you think it'll make much of a difference that there's only 2 golf courses in play this year?
I think scores may be a little higher to par or a little worse to par, just because Monterey Peninsula usually plays the easiest of the 3. I may be wrong there, but it feels like it definitely does. And so it might play a little easier. The par 5s at Monterey Peninsula are so easy, it feels like you can make a bunch of birdies. So other than that, not really. Rounds might be a little faster with only the threesomes.
Thank you.
Okay, will you go now to Sean Martin, PGAtour.com?
Hey Patrick, just curious, what's the largest change you made in the past year?
Largest change in the last year. I can't think of much of a big change. The biggest change really in the last, 3 or 4 years has been moving to Florida from California, and I've enjoyed that being on the East Coast. The last year, I can't think of anything in particular. I feel like I stick to things being pretty much the same, and I think that's part of me being so consistent. So I'm not quite sure. I'll have to think on that and get back to you.
What was the benefit of Florida for you personally?
What about Florida?
What's the benefit?
Yeah, especially if it takes you away from Jamie, I guess, but what are the benefits?
Oh, the benefit. Well, I think being on the Bermuda grass all the time, and it's so windy in Florida, that playing that different type of golf there and getting used to that only helps me when I go out on the road. And then not having to take those cross-country flights, losing that whole day with the 3-hour time change and 5-hour flight, that's a big time saver at the beginning of weeks. So I've enjoyed Florida, and I feel like I'm getting more and more confident on Bermuda all the time.
Cool, thank you.
Next question comes from Ron Koychek with the San Francisco Chronicle. Ron, go ahead.
Patrick, thanks for taking the time to do this. You mentioned the rain in the forecast. How does that change the dynamics of this event? How does it affect the competition if it like this week?
Well, I think it'll make everything just a little tougher. It's already cold, so it might feel a little colder even. And I think that'll make scores just a little worse, especially if the wind were to blow. And then depending if they play lift clean or place, or lift clean in place or not, mud on the golf ball always adds a little bit of unpredictability, and that would make it a little harder. And then the golf ball will go a lot shorter. It already goes very short up here compared to the rest of the country. So if it rains, it'll go even shorter.
That one follow-up, you guys are obviously used to no fans, but how weird is the vibe gonna be this week with no amateurs, no celebrities? I mean, obviously that's the identity of this event, and you've played in it several times. What do you expect in that regard?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a letdown. I hope the AMs are able to come back soon, and it may be the only time they play this tournament without the AMs in my lifetime. So it'll be interesting for sure. It'll be a little less hectic. It does get a little crazy out here with 300 or so competitors playing. So it should be okay if it's just 1 year. We'll see how Pebble and Spyglass do with no Monterey this year.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Can we go down to Daniel Rappaport? Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, with Dustin withdrawing last night, you're now the highest ranked player in the field. I'm curious, are you surprised at all that so many of the top guys are not playing this week, and why do you think the reason for that is?
That's a good question. I think maybe weather has a big part to do with it. And then also the upcoming schedule, I think maybe has the biggest issue to do with it. I think the next 3 tournaments are LA, which is obviously a big tournament at Riviera, and then the WGC, and then Bay Hill, and then maybe the Players Championship, I think is right. So those are 4 big tournaments, all in a row, and you just can't play all of them. So for me, I decided to play here, and I'm not going to play Bay Hill. So it worked in my schedule for that reason. But if I was going to play Bay Hill, it probably wouldn't make sense for me to play here. So I got to imagine that scheduling and weather, probably more scheduling than anything else, had the biggest factor to do with that.
Thank you, and you drove the schedule, by the way. Spot on.
Okay, we'll go down to Doug Ferguson with the Associated Press. Dougie.
Patrick, how do you decide where you're going to play? But when you're looking at this, I mean, if you look from, say, Kapalua onward, what determines where you go?
I would say the biggest things for me are golf courses and then scheduling. So I don't usually like to play anything more than 3 in a row. And so depending on what golf courses I like and where I feel comfortable, usually places I've played before, I'll go to those places and then try and figure out the schedule around not playing more than 3 in a row. And every year it's a little different depending on how the schedule changes. I feel like every year it just changes a little bit. And so every year that's kind of fun, and the tournaments I play maybe change a little bit depending on where and what order they fall in. So that's kind of the recipe for me, just where I feel comfortable playing and then not playing too much.
What's your policy on places you haven't played? Concessions is probably, are you going there, the WGC?
I am, yeah.
Okay, but I mean, that's kind of a one-off, but of course you've never played before, and let's go give it a shot. What's your philosophy on that?
I wouldn't say there's too many golf courses on tour that I haven't played, golf courses I haven't gone to or haven't played. So, there's a few. I haven't played Phoenix. It just always falls in a weird spot on the schedule for the West Coast. I like playing LA. I like playing here. And so if I were to have played Phoenix, that would have been 4 in a row. So that's kind of why that didn't get on the schedule. But most places, just places I've played well. I really like Hilton Head, so I'll play that the week after the Masters. It's all about going back to places where I've had success before and golf courses that kind of fit my game.
And then if you go back early days, when there wasn't a lot of courses you played, what would you consider an example of a course where you got to and you quickly regretted your decision?
I'd have to think back. I didn't like the Houston course that I played. It's not the new Houston course, but the old Houston course. I remember I played and thought that it didn't suit my eye. That one sticks out. I think I played it my first year. I wasn't in the Masters and thought I might as well try and play the week before the Masters, try and get in. But that tournament didn't float my boat.
Oh, would you figure that out like what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday, I probably got to the course and realized I still had a week left there.
Hey, well, I got the lesson.
All right, we've got one more question, and we'll go to Daniel Rappaport for that. Daniel?
You mentioned that the ball goes shorter this week. How much shorter on the driver and then maybe a 7-iron? And then is it ever hard to trust that number when you're used to hitting it so much further?
It goes considerably shorter this week. And then also wind, if wind's into you, it goes even shorter. I feel like the wind affects the golf ball more here. And I think that's two reasons. The ball actually is going shorter, so you could put the same amount of force into the golf ball and it goes shorter. And then second, it's so cold that it's hard to move your body as fast or as big or make your swing as long. So you're actually putting less force into the golf ball. And I'd say, especially with the greens being soft, you can hit low shots. So there's really no advantage to, trying to step on an 8-iron and get the most out of it. You're better off hitting a 3/4 7-iron, and for the most part, it's just going to sit and stop. So, for example, if I'm on the East Coast and it's the summer, I could hit a 7-iron 185 or 190, and I hit 7-iron from 157 yards today at my practice round at Spyglass. So it's a considerable difference.
Okay, actually, Patrick, we got one more from Doug Ferguson, and we'll cut you loose. Dougie, go ahead.
Just curious, at any point in your life, have you ever received media training?
I have not. No, I went to, well, if you count, rookie orientation, my first year on tour, if that counts, then yes, but since then, no.
Do you remember anything from rookie orientation that you can apply today?
Not that I could apply today, but I do remember plenty of things.
Okay, well, Patrick, no, go ahead, Doug, sorry.
About the details, but we'll get to it later. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Doug.